Chapter 71 Ahaha. I'm not hurt. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Also, Enelu has been defeated, Loki said again at this time. After hearing this, a group of people finally saw Enelu lying on the ground, looking at him unconscious. The faces of the group all became excited. This is the biggest obstacle for them to regain their hometown. Now he is finally defeated. Who? You too. You defeat Enelu. Too strong. I didn't expect you two to hide your secrets. That's right. It seems that the position of elder belongs to you. Praises and exclamations suddenly sounded, all admiring the strength of the two men. This can make the two of them very worried. Us. Defeat Enel. Although I don't want to say it, but neither of us can even handle a dog. Defeat Enelu. The divine soldiers on the other side also found Thor lying on the ground. They looked at Full with the same shocked expressions. Big. Can you deal with this guy? Ah. Your strength has improved again. That's awesome. This way you can lead us again. That's right. This is so good. The compliment here made Weir a little embarrassed. He still doesn't know who did it. He lay down as soon as Enelu discharged his electricity just now. I have no idea what happened. No me, I don't his opponent. Weir said somewhat dejectedly at this time. The strength gap between him and Enelu is really too big. He couldn't even hurt the guy. What? Not you. Who else? Who else has such an ability? Ah. The strongest one here is you. If not you, who will be? Weir also wants to know this question. Guys, can you tell me what exactly happened? Fall asked Nami in a calm and slightly pleading tone. Hearing this, all eyes turned towards them. This look also made me a little cautious, but it's not like I didn't stand up. Just him. Usopp jumped up behind Weir and pushed him directly. Just him defeat Enelu. And he only used 3 moves. He's awesome. He's the ship's doctor on our ship. Usopp looked proud, as if he had done it, but at this time, everyone else was stunned when they heard this. They looked at this young, very plainly dressed were wearing a pair of huge slippers, and they couldn't help but express surprise on their faces. This guy doesn't seem to be anything special. If I have to say it, then looks pretty handsome. At this time, Weir had already put away his armor. He returned to his usual outfit. Just him. Defeat Enelu. Real or fake? So light. And there are also 3 moves. This is more than just defeating, this is crushing. Is his strength so strong? At this time, these people were already stunned. The expressions on the faces are very wonderful. They had no doubts about this result, because even Lakish had come forward to prove the authenticity of this matter. Enelu, this one is really easy to defeat. For looked at Weir's handsome, expressionless face, and he couldn't help but have a look of shock on his own face. Crush. These 2 words kept rising in his heart. He also gradually understood Weir's great strength. No need to say anything. Anyway. This one is light. Do him a big favor. It also does a big favor to the people of Kwonkong Island. Weir immediately stood up and came to Weir with difficulty. Weir was speechless at this time. He had already seen it. This posture seems very familiar. Take it. Can you please stop doing it? This is very embarrassing. Fal was about to kneel down on one knee, but suddenly he caught a glimpse of Weir's speechless expression. He also quickly stopped his tendency to kneel, and he immediately changed to bowing. Brother. Thank you for your contribution to the entire Sky Island. Seeing this, Will's face looked a little better. What he fears most is that others will kneel to him at every turn. That's really embarrassing. That's right. Brother Will. Big brother, if Enelu is defeated by you, we, Sandia, can return to our hometown and live. I'm really grateful to you. Lachi also said sincerely at this time. Okay, one by one, don't keep saying. You. Go and find all the gold in your hometown. I will take it away when the time comes. Nami, you are solely responsible for this matter. And you. You are responsible for collecting some shellfish for me. Send them to the altar for me when the time comes. By the way, bring these 2 on the ground too. After saying that, Will held Chopper in the direction of the ship with one hand. Robin chuckled lightly and followed behind him. He still had to remodel the ship, but I don't have time to talk about these things here, and Weir's words really made everyone freeze in place. Sister-in-law, do we want to do this? After a long time, a voice broke the silence here. Lakshi, who was still in a daze, came back to his senses when he heard this. She looked at the direction in which Will disappeared and shook her head helplessly. Do it. Why don't you do it? Do you want to try what it feels like to be welded? All are looking for gold. Loki gave them a fierce look, then waved his hand, and they started to speak. Nami already looked like a money addict at this time. She followed closely behind this group of people, with only one thought in her mind: gold. 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 When Usopp saw this, he was afraid that she would accidentally fall to death, so he quickly followed her. Big? Us? The priests on the other side also looked at Weir at this time. Go. Find. Send them to N. By the way, tell all the Sky Island residents about this, so they no longer have to live in fear. Soon the group dispersed. The grief-stricken Enelu is left alone here. Wait until I get up. You wait for me to get up. I will. I must. Run quickly. Weir and the others walked in the forest for a long time before returning to the melee. I just forgot to borrow another tour guide from Weir, but as soon as he arrived, a voice sounded. Who? Where are you going, Will? Why are you back so late? It's almost dark. After a few glances, a figure wearing a straw hat sat on the bow of the boat and looked at them. Forehead. Why is he here? Soon Zoro and Sanji were sent back by fowls. Nami and Usopp also came back together not long after. Rocky sent them back. At this time, Nami was holding a large bag of unknown objects in her arms. Her body also changed drastically. All kinds of gold jewelry and gold decorations are all worn. If you don't look carefully, you might think that someone's Buddha has left home. This golden light really looks like a Buddha statue. Ha ha ha. Will. We are rich. Do you know how much there is? A whole lot. I will get it tomorrow. Nami smiled so hard that she couldn't even close her mouth from ear to ear. Weir, can you cook? I'm starving to death. Luffy doesn't care about that, he only knows that it's dinner time. When he said this, Will also felt a little hungry. I really don't know how to do it. Hearing this, Luffy looked disappointed, but at this time, we're set again, but I can make those who can cook stand up immediately. Luffy looked at Will's back, and Zoro and Sanji who were being pulled towards the house by him, and couldn't help but have a look of joy on his face. Fine. I'm not hurt. Chapter 72 I got it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It was late yesterday, so the news spread the next morning. The entire island of the envoys had heard the news. They were all scared when they saw the divine soldiers coming, because Enel usually wouldn't order them to do good things. They were ready to kneel down respectfully, but the divine soldier directly announced the news that Enel was defeated. Enel. It's gone. His powerful shout quickly reached everyone's ears. At first, everyone thought they had heard it, but when they looked up and saw the excited look of the divine soldier and the delay in the divine punishment, they realized it. Enel, the evil god, is really a thing of the past. The whole audience was silent for several minutes, and then a cheer instantly broke the atmosphere. We are free. This loud shout brought everyone's mind back. Then there were cheers and excited cries that resounded throughout the ground. Free. We are free. No one will monitor us anymore. Really. Don't worry about the sudden divine punishment. Ha ha ha. Ha ha woo woo. Almost everyone cried with joy. They cheered and jumped for joy, as if they had regained a new life. But at this time, the messenger girl who helped Luffy in the crowd seemed to think of something at this time. She looked at the equally excited divine soldier in front of her and asked with a look of urgency. Who defeated him? Was it the pirate group that came up before? Was it their captain? At this time, her mind was full of what Luffy and the others said when they parted with her. We will rescue Will. If anyone stops us, I will definitely beat him away. Luffy's smiling face kept appearing in her mind at this time. After hearing her question, the whole audience fell into silence again. Yes, Enelus is so powerful, who did it? Is there such a powerful person on their sky island? No, not him. That the words of the divine soldier made Iris stunned for a moment. Not Luffy? Who then? It's the ship's doctor on their ship, a young man named Will. That after hearing this, everyone's first reaction was to thank him. A large group of people surrounded the divine soldier. Want to know where Will is at this time? The divine soldier naturally told them one by one. But he said that Will didn't like to be disturbed. After hearing this, everyone gave up, but their gratitude to Will did not diminish at all. Enelus did too many bad things to them. If you say something disrespectful to God, you will be executed on the spot. Now that he was defeated by this little brother named Will, everyone was naturally grateful. Only Iris, who was stunned in place, had an unbelievable look on her face. Luffy and the others went to save Will, but Will's strength seemed to be that he didn't need to be saved at all. Even Enel, the strongest man in Sky Island, was not his opponent. How could a ship doctor be so powerful? At this moment, the image of the doctor in Iris's heart changed drastically. Hey Zoro! Sanji! What are you two doing sitting here? Let's go on an adventure together. That Luffy looked at the brothers sitting side by side and invited them with a smile, but the two looked like they had nothing to love. Their faces were full of, I want to die, I don't want to care about you. But Luffy didn't care so much. He just rolled them up with his arms. In the blink of an eye, they were no longer there. Nami had taken Usopp out early. There was still a lot of gold waiting for them over there. What they had yesterday was just a drop in the bucket. Before leaving, Usopp still looked resistant, because Nami had asked him to carry too much yesterday and he was almost exhausted, and the resistant him habitually said his classic lines. I have a disease that will kill me if I go to the island. Just let me stay on the boat, that he said weakly, his voice intermittently, but as soon as he finished speaking, a voice rang out. Who is sick? Will, who was watching the principle of wing flight not far away, raised his head instantly. His eyes were bright and energetic. He stared at Usopp. That look was full of aggression. Seeing this, Usopp was cured of his Alzheimer's disease, not to mention the disease that prevented him from going to the island. He picked up Nami and ran away in a flash. While running, he shouted, I'm fine. My illness is cured. Doctor, you are a miracle doctor. Thank you so much. Don't go. Let Will help you heal. In the distance, Nami's joking voice was faintly visible. Robin found it a little funny. On this ship, illness can't be treated casually. Soon, there were only 2 people and 1 deer left here. Robin said that she wanted to go to the ruins and asked Chopper to go with her. She invited Will, but he refused. He still had a lot of things to do. When the 2 of them left, Will was the only one left. Will looked at the book in his hand, and there was some enlightenment in his eyes. Well, flying with wings is really good. But I choose paragliding. It has to be said that wings are too complicated to operate. Will has given up the idea of asking for trouble. He plans to make a golden paraglider with the gold that Nami brought back. When he installs it on the Mary, it will be absolutely stable. After helping Sanji and Zoro heal their injuries last night, the system gave them 2 abilities again. One is Sanji's cooking ability, and the other is Zoro's drinking capacity. To be honest, this really opened Will's eyes. It seems that after getting too much from the same person, it is easy to get some useless abilities, but it doesn't matter. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Last night, Will tested his newly acquired lightning ability. It can only be said to be a strong one. The ability is the ability that a normal thunder fruit should have. It's just that he can't elementalize. Will's goal here is to obtain the power of lightning. Not only can he discharge electricity, but he can also add it to his own attacks. Whether it is damage or speed, there will be a significant improvement, and the most important thing is that after he gained this ability, he clearly felt that the lightning elements around him could be used for his own benefit. This seems to be nonsense. Which natural ability user can't control the elements, but he has a high affinity for the elements. This is very important. If the 100 million volt lightning released by Enel can cause 10 points of damage, then Will can cause 17 or even 18. The gap between them is not small at all. This is not just about attack, speed, range, paralysis, and defense penetration will all be greatly improved. For small skills, it may not be obvious, but if it is that kind of super large range or super strong single damage, the gap is immediately reflected. After last night's research, Will has successfully developed a very strong single attack, a move that can compress a large amount of lightning and then burst out in a straight line in an instant, clear and powerful. If this move is combined with his triple damage increase, the damage caused is simply immeasurable. Chapter 73. Hello. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It is worth mentioning that lightning can also greatly improve the observation hockey. If it is not for the improvement of that range, it can be said that it is not very effective. It can improve the overall quality. It allows Will's observation hockey to not only hear the sound of the opponent's body, but also what the enemy is thinking. The electric waves emitted by the body and the brain can be easily sensed by him. Brain waves are also sensitive to electricity. Will's sensitivity to electricity has reached a terrifying level. At this time, he looked at the jumping arc on his finger, and a feeling of wanting to try it rose in his heart. Yesterday he experimented on a small scale, it didn't work at all. Now is indeed a good time. Thinking of this, Will also began to compress lightning on his index finger. As time went on, Will's index finger became brighter and brighter. But Will's brows wrinkled involuntarily. It's so bright. Everyone can see that he is going to attack. This won't do. I have to find a way to cover this light later. While Will was thinking, the lightning here had been compressed. It took about 8 seconds. At this time, there were terrifying fluctuations all around Will. There were circles of ripples in the air. That was a sign of overheating. Seeing that it had reached the extreme, Will no longer hesitated. Pointed at the huge vine in the distance. After a short silence, a strong electric light gushed out. The power was extremely strong, but the range was only as thick as a finger. But as the distance lengthened, the range seemed to begin to expand. Behind the huge vines, Enel, who had been lying for a day, finally opened his eyes. His injuries and anesthesia effects were all over. Enelu, who had just opened his eyes, was ready to leave here quickly, but as soon as he opened his eyes and was about to look up, an extremely powerful lightning brushed his face and hit the vines behind him. Feeling the domineering and powerfulness of the lightning, Enelu froze on the spot. A few seconds later, boom! A loud noise came. Enelu stared blankly at the huge vine that fell in front of him. He looked at his slightly burned nose and some scorched hair again, and the expression on his face gradually became unbelievable. What's going on? Who sent such a powerful electric shock? The vine that was 100 meters thick and reached the sky. Unexpectedly, a large part of it disappeared directly after this blow. But this is not what surprised him the most. What shocked him the most? Lightning hurt him. He is the incarnation of thunder. But now, he was injured by lightning. How is it possible? Who is it? Enel instantly launched the net. He looked towards the place where the attack came from. He saw his nightmare blowing a breath towards his smoking finger. He can actually control lightning. And he is stronger than me. How is this possible? Enel almost collapsed at this moment. What kind of structure is this guy? Will? No. I can't stay here anymore. I have to leave quickly. Enel thought of this and turned into lightning and disappeared instantly. He rushed towards the spaceship he had made for many years. He wanted to take off quickly now. Will looked at Enel disappearing in the distance and the huge vine that had disappeared most of the time through the net, and he nodded with satisfaction. The power of this move is at least as powerful as that of a lieutenant general, but it costs a bit of energy, and it may only be used once in a battle of equal strength, because the enemy will not give you time to charge and compress, but when to use it is up to him. You can keep it as a trump card, or use it as a sneak attack during the fight. It's all very good. As for why he could hurt Enel, it's naturally because of elemental affinity. After the experiment, Will was in a good mood. Although this lightning energy is the biggest gain this time, other gains are also very good. For example, he now has 10,000 negative points in his pocket, and a chainsaw, and an electric welder. Apart from these, I won't mention the others. It's not a big deal. He has 10,000 negative points, which is a lot, but it's not bad. At least it seems very bad to Will now. Because the situation he will face next is very serious. Without him, it's impossible to go to the naval fortress. The long chain island with one stop can't be supported by a foxy with superb ability. You know, Akiji will also rush there after smelling Robin. That's an admiral. What's the concept of an admiral? Will's current comprehensive strength is at most about the same as that of a vice admiral. Maybe he will be a little stronger, but there is a limit to how strong he is. But if he meets an old admiral like Akiji, he will definitely not have any chance of winning. The best outcome is that he is pinned to the ground and thrown into prison, although he has no bad intentions in the original novel. But we can't just look at the original novel. Now that I have killed Lao Sha, this guy might be unhappy with me and want to capture me. I can also choose to escape, just leave for a while. I won't be on the ship, and I won't meet Akiji, but if that happens, wouldn't it be a loss? Why? Admiral. That's a great admiral. Which of his abilities is weaker? If I can manipulate it and knock Akiji down and heal him, the power improvement that will be obtained, will dare not even think about it. This is dangerous. But it is also an opportunity. A great opportunity. He has to prepare in advance no matter what. As for what preparations? Is there any other way besides the system? No, there is no way at all, so, these 10,000 negative points are not many, Admiral. TSK. After finishing the matter of the Mary, I will go shopping in the mall. I must find something that is affordable and can completely defeat Akiji. I must find it. This is a free opportunity. Thinking of this, Will also took out a detailed description of the glider. After a quick look, Will also roughly understood the principles and basic structure. That's okay. Will directly started to experiment with the gold that Nami brought back yesterday. Make a small one first. With Will's continuous adjustments, it didn't take long for a decent glider to take shape. Looking at this glider that was not much different from the one in the book, Will also nodded with satisfaction. When you go there, you will see an octopus hot air balloon. When it is out of air, you can directly shape it into a larger one. It is quite simple. Just when Will was complacent about his handcraft talent, a voice suddenly sounded. Hello. This voice is like a ghost. It appeared without any signs. Chapter 74. I Can't Fix You. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This sudden sound startled Will. Will tensed up instantly, arcs flashed wildly in his eyes. The lightning in his hand had also been ready for a long time. Just wait for Will to think. These lightning will instantly tear the enemy apart. Will also quickly turned his head to look at the place where the sound came from, but after seeing the source clearly, he not only did not attack, but he breathed a sigh of relief. The lightning in his hand also dissipated, and his tense body also relaxed. I saw a virtual figure standing on the deck not far away. It was wearing a cloak, and the hood of the cloak was so large that I couldn't see its face clearly, but I could see that it was smiling. This was of course the ship Spirit of the Mary, but this way of appearance was too scary. Will was also a little scared. There was nothing unusual in the extremely powerful range of observation hockey, but suddenly there was a sound coming from behind. Who wouldn't be scared by this? Seeing that it was Mary, Will naturally relaxed. He knew that there was a ship Spirit on the Mary now, but he didn't know that this creature would not be sensed by observation hockey. Just now, he really thought there was a ghost. Will was also a little surprised when he looked at the shadow in front of him. This type of creature was also the first time he saw it. Are you Mary's ship Spirit? What's your structure? Can you walk without making any sound? That the frightened Will shouted while circling around the guy. He looked left and right, like a country bumpkin who had never seen the world, but his word surprised Mary. You actually know me? What a powerful partner. It was only happy at this time, and didn't listen to the second half of Will's words. Yes. You actually know me. Mary laughed even more happily at this time, and it seemed to like the feeling of being recognized. Will turned around a few times and found that the boat's spirit was indeed similar to what he saw on TV. Very virtual, as if it had no entity. Seeing Mary laughing so happily again, so he put away the idea of dissecting this boat spirit that scared him. It seems that the boat spirit will never show up on its own initiative. Mary appeared in front of him so openly this time. There must be something going on, right? What do you want to ask me for, Mary? After thinking about it, Will finally said this name, and Mary did show up this time because she wanted to ask Will for something. Yes, Mary said happily, as if it was happy that others knew what it was thinking. Mary then spoke out what she was thinking. I can feel that I'm almost at my limit. When it said this, Will also understood instantly. Mary found that her ability to shape could work on it, so she wanted to ask herself to repair it. At most, I can only take everyone to 2 or 3 more islands. By then, I can only sink to the bottom of the sea. But I still want to continue sailing with everyone. So I want to ask you. Can you fix me and make me stronger? In this way, maybe I can accompany everyone to the end. Mary said at the end. Her tone was full of pleading. It really wanted to accompany everyone to the end. It's just that its hardware really doesn't allow it, but during this period, it saw hope. It found that Will could easily repair its broken parts. Even when the ship was fighting, it would turn part of itself into steel to prevent being damaged by the enemy. These abilities are really amazing. It also gives it hope, the hope to continue sailing on the sea. So, it showed up, and said these words to Will. Will was a little helpless looking at the crying guy in front of him. Although he couldn't see Mary's eyes, he could feel that it was looking at him with tears in its eyes. Can it be repaired? The answer is of course yes. Having stayed on the Mary for so long, to be honest, I also have feelings. If I can make up for the regret that the Mary sank to the bottom of the sea forever, I am also happy to help. But can it really be repaired? The answer is no. At least not now. It is impossible for the Mary to go all the way with everyone. Although I can repair it, I can't change its hardware. Yes, it can turn into steel, but that ability has a time limit. The duration is very short. Do I have to keep an eye on the Mary 24 hours a day? This is obviously unrealistic. In the new world, after the broken wood material is restored, it will be destroyed in an instant. The sea there is not as gentle as in the first half. Changing ships is a must, but with you, Mary will never end up sinking to the bottom of the sea. I can shrink it and put it on the sunny behind. The ship's spirit will not disappear. Isn't this also considered to accompany everyone to the end? So now, it can be repaired, but it is not necessary. It is better to wait until Mary really can't hold on, and then take action. Otherwise, if the Melee was in good condition, the ship would not have agreed to change the ship. Thinking of this, Weir also said helplessly, I can't repair it. But as soon as these words came out, the elf in front, who was still very excited, was suddenly stunned. The brim of the hat is visibly drooping lower, the corners of his mouth also curved involuntarily. A sense of loss was clearly conveyed. Just when Melee was so sad that she was about to cry, Will spoke again. It's true that I can't fix you, but I won't let you sink to the bottom of the sea. As soon as we're finished speaking, Melee was stunned again. If you can't repair me well, why don't you let me sink into the sea? Do you want me to die alone on an unknown island? If this is the case, then I might as well throw myself into the embrace of the sea. Melee just wanted to refuse Will. And it also allows you to follow us all the time. What? What did I hear? Melee was stunned again. Just a few words can quickly burn up the child's CPU. These few sentences are connected together, and it is really hard to understand. If it can't be repaired, how can it be allowed to follow? How is this possible? Do you want to use other boats to pull you? But when the time comes, I will be completely broken and I won't be able to pull it. Veil, what does this mean? Is there any other way? If that's the case, that's great. Really? Really, Will? If possible. That would be great. But can this really be done? Melee took a few steps forward excitedly and looked at Will with excitement. My hands were so excited that I felt at a loss, don't even know where to put it. I wanted to hug Weir's thigh, but it didn't feel right. Just lift it up and put it down in the air. Seeing its appearance, Weir was also a little bit dumbfounded. The boat's spirit's thoughts seemed to be similar to those of a child. He squatted down and looked at the ship's spirit, which was only as tall as his own legs. He said seriously, really? I promise you that Chopper will be single for the rest of his life. Chapter 75 still coming. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Time flies, 2 days go by in an instant. On this day, the pointer on Nami's wrist finally pointed in the other direction. Everyone also gathered on the boat. As we all know, it's time to hit the road. In 2 days, Nami collected almost all the gold left here. Robin and Chopper have read the historical text here, and Luffy also led Zoro and Sanji to find the huge golden bell. It was on the huge vine that Weir interrupted. Luffy spent a lot of effort to stand up the golden clock. After letting Zoro and Sanji help the speechless ones, he also rang the huge golden bell fiercely. The sound of the bell spread throughout the heavens, and everyone heard the loud bell. Of course, this also includes Kulik on the blue sea. He was standing on the coast at this time. Look up at the sky. On the surface, he looked calm and relaxed, but in fact, he had already burst into tears. The ancestors of are not lying to. Thank you. Luffy. Will. Yo how. Let's go. Following Luffy's order, the ship followed the cloud flow and passed through a huge arch bridge. And that Yunlu ended here. The ship is about to start a free fall. Ah. Ah. Don't you guys just keep going like this. You'll fall to death. Luffy. Have you ever thought about how to land? The boat was already filled with screams. Only Luffy and Will calmly greeted the people following behind. We will come again next time. Everyone must wait for us. Luffy shouted happily, but the expressions of Lachi and others who came behind changed drastically. Come again. They shouted this sentence in unison, and looked at Weir, who looked calm. Don't come, brother. Thank you. If you are a brother, please don't come again. Be brothers. In my heart. It's no fun seeing each other all the time. They quickly disappeared from Luffy's sight. At this time, Luffy said with some confusion, why do they look unhappy? Are they reluctant to leave us? If we have a chance, we can come to Sky Island again, Will. This place is simply great. Hearing this, we just admired Luffy's brain. They'd almost put the muzzle of a gun in your mouth to tell you not to come, but you can't even tell. As the ship descended, just as it was about to break through the clouds, a huge octopus hugged the melee. Its huge head is like a hot air balloon. The rate of fall slowed down significantly. I didn't expect that there is a falling device on the Sky Island. It's really scary. Nami, who was still frightened, breathed a sigh of relief when she saw the melee slowly descending. 5 minutes later. Have you noticed that this octopus has gotten smaller? Usopp looked uncertainly at the giant octopus above his head. No. It must be your imagination. Nami replied with some tears in her eyes. 5 minutes later. Someone help me. Why did this octopus disappear? It vented too fast. With a burst of screams, Will walked towards the warehouse. He raised and touched the large pile of gold that Nami brought back. In just a few seconds, the downward trend of the melee finally stopped. At this time, a huge gliding device was standing on the melee, taking the place of the big octopus. The melee also began to glide smoothly forward. Yes, saved. The weak and helpless duo holding each other breathed a sigh of relief again. Wow. It has to be you, Weir. Wings made of gold. So handsome. Luffy looked at the gliding device above his head with excitement and gave Wilby a thumbs up. Weir looked at the ship that was on track and nodded with satisfaction. Not bad, very useful. If this continues, there is no chance that we will fall into some kind of naval fortress. Slightly adjusted the direction to make the melee fly in the direction of the pointer. After doing all this, Weir also returned to his room and was in a daze. He also visited the mall. That's right, I haven't finished shopping after 2 days of shopping. This mall is really big, there are a lot of outrageous things, but he has almost finished browsing the item column that makes people lose their ability to resist. Page 999 has now reached page 953, but there really isn't anything suitable in front of me. It's not that the effect is too great and it can't defeat the general, it's just that the price exceeds the deposit, and I am helpless. If you still can't find anything after browsing the following pages, then just hide away. 954, 955, 956. As time passed, Weir also came to the last page, 999. Hey, if you don't know, it depends on your page. Looking down one by one, Will's brows furrowed more and more. No, still not. Isn't that true? What a broken system. Rubbish. Complaint. But suddenly, Weir was stunned. The anger on his face began to change. Just 1 second. It turned into a look of ecstasy. Found it. The last one on the last page. But at this moment, a loud noise was heard. Followed by a violent vibration. Caught off guard, Will was also knocked to the ground. What's going on? That Will hurried out. When they came to the deck, Luffy and the others were all hit hard. Seeing Will coming out, Chopper also covered his painful buttocks and shouted. Brother! Your wings can't slow down. Almost crashed into the sea. That Will also reacted instantly after hearing this. Yes, forgot about this. After being hit like this, the Mary will not fall apart directly, right? Don't stand there. Hurry up and check if the Mary is okay. That when he said this, everyone became worried. Yes, after such a heavy fall, the Mary will not be in trouble, right? The worried Usopp rushed into the cabin first. Luffy and the others observed the surroundings. Soon Usopp came back. The worry on his face was swept away. It's okay. There's no water leaking from the bottom of the boat. There's no obvious scratch on the hull. Everything is normal here too. This is fine too. As everyone reported one by one, everyone's hanging hearts finally let go, but only will notice something. The keel should still be broken. He felt the pain from the boat. Forget it, just wait until we get to the water and look again. He is not a professional shipwright, so he doesn't know much about these. After turning the huge gliding device into normal gold and throwing it into the warehouse, Will returned to the room. The boat was fine, and everyone quickly led the boat in the right direction under Nami's command, and Will looked at the items in the mall at this time, and a smile appeared on his face. Soul-bewitching incense. Price, 45,000. The smell it emits can make people fall into a coma. Note, the stronger the strength, the shorter the coma time. Evaluation, oh, a must-have item for the flower-picking thief in the martial arts world. Are you sure you don't need it? That's right. This is it. The moment he saw this thing, Will thought of a way. The stronger the strength, the shorter the coma time. It's okay. I'll add some strong medicine to it later. I don't ask for Akiji to be unconscious. I just ask for him to be unconscious for a moment. As long as he enters a coma. The brick will teach him a lesson. Anesthesia brick. Hitting a person who has no resistance with a strong force can make him fall into an anesthetized state, anesthesia state, a clear mind and paralysis of the body. People who have no resistance are not just defeated people. Falling into a coma will also be judged as having no resistance. As long as he is photographed. Then he won't be given a welding package, right? I wonder what the psychological quality of the General Akiji is like. Can he withstand this set of small combos? Chapter 76. You want to touch me? You are listening at novelfull.audio. That's right. In just a few seconds, a complete and reliable plan appeared in Will's mind, and he had even thought about how to operate it specifically. Robin is the key, and Akiji is going for Robin, so he only needs to do something with Robin, and he will definitely be able to catch that old guy. The most critical problem now is that he is still a little short of the negative point. 45,000 just exceeds his total savings, just 2,000 short. This is very annoying. He can only wait until he arrives at the Long Chain Island and treats Foxy to get the 2,000 together. Now, Will plans to study the ingredients and medicinal properties of this soul-enchanting incense first. These things are written in the item summary on the mall. Will wants to try to see if he can replicate it. If he succeeds, it will save 45,000 immediately. A sum of money. Although you can't buy things that improve your strength in this mall, but there are a lot of abstract items in it. If used properly, it can save lives. It's better to save negative points as much as possible. His current medicine level is still quite high. Maybe it's really possible. In this way, Will began to take out things from his medical box. He took out various medicinal materials with similar ingredients and effects to the soul-loving incense. He began to experiment with the proportions. His figure gradually became busy. Time passed quietly. The sky gradually darkened. The night soon became deep. The noise outside gradually subsided. The banquet to celebrate the safe end of this trip to the Sky Island finally ended. Several people also went back to their rooms to sleep. Some walked by themselves, some carried others, and some were carried. With a creak, Will's door was pushed open, but Will, who was still concentrating on his research at this time, ignored it. Chopper and Robin looked at the cold food on the table, and after looking at each other, they could only shake their heads. Will was so serious that he didn't even care about eating. It was like he was possessed by a demon. After reheating the food, they went back to sleep. Chopper slept on the bed behind Will. Robin walked into Will's operating room. It was called Will's operating room, but now it has become Robin's bedroom. Robin didn't change the layout of the room, she just put a small bed in the corner. The first thing she did after getting on the ship was to choose a room, but after looking around, she still chose Will's operating room. On the one hand, it was closer to Will, and she could give Will a hand from time to time. On the other hand, it was because this was the quietest place on the entire ship. Luffy and his friends played around, but they would never get close to this place, so this place naturally became the quietest place. Speaking of which, Will really didn't understand at first. In his operating room, there were all kinds of bloody electric drills, table saws for carpenters to cut wood boards, hooks for hanging pigs, etc. But Robin didn't care at all. He even had a good sleep quality. We don't know what's wrong with this kid. Will was dumbfounded at the time. Robin also renovated Will and Chopper's room, added some facilities and a bookshelf. It was as if their room was their own living room. She sat here and read books when she had nothing to do. Will was mixing experimental drugs, and she sat aside. When Will needed it, she would summon a hand to help. She had already replaced Chopper's position, fortunately. Chopper has been working hard to improve his strength recently, otherwise, he didn't want to give up the opportunity to help Will learn something. In this way, time slipped away again. In the blink of an eye, another day passed. After sitting there for 2 days, Will, who had not stood up except for drinking 2 sips of water and going to the toilet twice, finally stood up. Squeak, the door of the operating room was opened. Robin walked out. She looked at Will, who stood up with a smile on her face, and said with a smile, "Don't forget our agreement. The ship's doctor will go first." Will could only nod helplessly after hearing this. Robin left with satisfaction. At this time, the new thing that Will had worked hard to develop was placed on the table, but he didn't look too happy, because that thing did not meet his psychological expectations. Alas, it still doesn't work, but it's reasonable. After all, this is across the world. That's right, the drug that Will made according to the love potion can't achieve the effect of the real love potion at all, and the gap is quite large, so Will threw it directly into the trash can. Now on the table is the second generation of the love potion. Let alone knock out Akiji. He tried, but couldn't even knock out Robin. Last night, he took the knockout drug he made and secretly tried it at Robin's door. He waited until a whole stick of incense was burned out, then pushed the door open and walked in. Looking at Robin lying motionless on the bed, Will came to the bed and called her twice softly. Robin didn't respond. Will thought he succeeded. Just when he was about to start, cough cough, just when he was about to pat her again to see how the knockout effect was, Robin, who had his eyes closed, suddenly opened them. He looked at Weir with his 2 paws out in amusement. An awkward atmosphere suddenly filled the air. I'll do it. You want to touch me? Robin couldn't be more straightforward. Seeing Weir's panicked look, she almost couldn't hold back her lips. I don't have a. I'm just experimenting with the first potion, that Will explained while waving his hands. He really didn't expect this effect to be so effective. What potion? Robin asked immediately, but this stopped Weir from asking, can this be said? Doesn't this mean that he is a wretched man? Absolutely not. Etc. I am not a wretched man. Formation to promote sleep. I'll come in to see how you sleep. Let's see the effect. This thing has different effects on deer, so I asked you to experiment. But these words made Robin laugh out loud. Humph, your sleep-promoting potion is supposed to choke people to death, right? After saying that, Robin looked at Will with a malicious look on his face. When Will heard Robin's teasing, he could only touch his nose in embarrassment. Sir, ship doctor, you don't want others to know that you are a pervert, right? As soon as Weir heard this, he knew it was over. Something seems to have happened. Rubbish potion. Wrong me. No more experiments on Robin. Wouldn't it be nice for me to find Luffy? I just put out the cigarette. After I put it out, I walked in and slapped his 2 big mouths. It would be much easier. How stupid I am. Wait, Luffy doesn't seem to be able to do that. In his words, slapping two big mouths may not wake them up, it has nothing to do with potions. If you don't want to, please ask the ship's doctor to teach me how to use armament hockey. Robin smiled happily, but Will felt as if he had eaten shit. I'm so mean. Chapter 77, Master Weir's class is now open. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In view of the failure of the first generation of the drug, Will also summed up the experience and developed the second generation of the drug, that is the bottle on his table now. The main effect of the second generation of the drug is not to make people unconscious, it is to enhance the effect of the soul-stirring incense. Since it has been developed, I might as well do it. But after all, it would be a loss if there is no gain after working hard for a long time, so we'll develop the second generation that can enhance the effect of the drug based on the experience gained from the first generation. It saves negative points and makes this operation more stable. It is not a waste of work. The second generation can at least increase the effect of the soul-stirring incense by more than 2 times. But if it is used alone, it has no effect. It can only enhance other drugs. Now I just have to wait for Foxy to buy the soul-stirring incense. Looking at the sandwich prepared by Chopper on the table, Will also took one and ate it. He was really hungry. Chopper, this kid is sensible. Walking out of the room, a lively scene came into view. Almost everyone was exercising. Chopper took the lead, and the others followed. The existence of Will made the entire Straw Hat Pirates roll up. The various large exercise equipment on the ship made Mary almost gasp for breath. We should be there soon, Will thought, when we get to Long Chain Island. We must be able to get Luffy to agree to a game. That's a pure idiot. They don't have the chips you want, and they don't want to bet with you. In this case, Luffy, the fool, will not agree. That game is completely unnecessary. It's just a waste of time. When watching this part, Will's high blood pressure almost broke his spirit, so this time, he will definitely accept it. Just beat up those stupid dogs, and then go after treatment. Will really wanted to see them more, and in front of the Mary, an island finally slowly appeared. I saw the island ahead. Zoro, who was observing from the lookout, also shouted in the direction. Soon, the ship docked amid the excited shouts of the crowd. These two stayed on the ship all the time, which made Luffy and the others uncomfortable. Every day is training. Training is good. When the time comes, you will get hurt. Don't get hurt, then the psychological gap will be huge. For example, Zoro and Gigi this time. They are also the most fierce in training, and they are very powerful. They often spar with each other, and their hands are very fierce. Now that the island is easy to see, everyone is very excited. As soon as the boat stopped, these guys rushed over like chickens seeing a basketball. Even Chopper was no exception. Only Robin was very calm. The boat seemed to be less erratic than her. At this time, Robin was still smiling at Will, who stayed. Her expression was exactly the same as last night. Will was also a little tired of being looked at. He turned over and got off the boat. Green grass, suitable temperature, even the sea breeze was very comfortable. I really didn't notice that the environment of this place is quite good. The surrounding scenery is also very familiar. This also made Will understand that this is the island where the plot takes place. But this time they came a little earlier, and they knew that the group of guys would come again. They should come, but they knew when they would come. But there was no need to rush. The pointer would slowly accumulate magnetic force. Eat and drink. As long as there was a heart net, it would not escape Will's attention. Will found a huge stone and jumped on it to sit. Now there is another key point. If Foxy is considered a fruit, his strength can be said to be very weak, and he is not an important object. If it is normal, the negative points obtained from him should be very few. This is not good news. If he can't even get 2,000 by then, it will be troublesome for a while. But Will vaguely remembered that Guy was the most popular. Maybe we can start from this point. Thinking like this, Will also bought a trumpet from the mall. That's right, it was the kind of trumpet sold on the street. Looking at the trumpet in his hand that was no different from his impression, Will nodded with satisfaction. This thing can definitely play a big role. How big it is depends on how much Foxy is. Don't say he is ugly. At this time, a shadow was cast. Will, holding the trumpet, raised his head and Robin's figure appeared in front of him. Mr. Doctor, you should fulfill your promise. Robin said faintly. Originally, she didn't want to become stronger. She was already considered weak in the Straw Hat Pirates, but when she saw Chopper's strength on Sky Island, her thoughts changed a little, but it was only a little. It was not until she saw Will's action that her thoughts were completely changed. As for why, there may be many reasons. In short, she wants to work hard to become stronger now. This is actually a good thing. But after experiencing the drug incident last night, her eyes became bolder when she looked at Weir. If it was just to teach her armament hockey, Will had nothing to be shy about. She had helped him a lot at the time, but after she caught him, she looked at Will with a weird look. This also gave Will a headache. Looking at Robin, who was sitting next to him and listening attentively, Will rubbed his temples. If she said something, it seemed that she would not give up. Will sorted out his words a little, and then began to talk. Armament hockey is a kind of energy that everyone is born with. Everyone has it in their body, it's just a matter of how much. Saying this, Will raised his palm. As his mind moved, a black color appeared in the palm of his hand. And what we need to do is to gather that ability, like me. Robin nodded thoughtfully. She had roughly understood what armament hockey was, but she tried to feel it herself, but found nothing. Why can I do it? How can I feel everything? Robin asked in confusion. You can do it because the amount is too small, so small that you can't notice it. If you want to increase this amount, you must exercise more. This is actually related to physical fitness. If you have a strong body, it will be easier to detect these energies and mobilize them. As for why? Of course, it's because there is more energy. With more energy, it will naturally be easier to be detected. So making your body stronger is the key. That's all I can say. From now on, you can only rely on yourself. After Will finished speaking, Robin's face also showed a hint of enlightenment. After she tried a few times, she could faintly sense the energy that Will said, but it was only vaguely aware. She also knew that she still had a long way to go before she could use it, but she only responded when she thought of this. She looked up at Will with a surprised look on her face. This scared Will. Hey, you have come up with some bad ideas, right? To be honest, Will is really a little scared of Robin now, but Robin was just surprised at Will's strength. Will is so old, but he can use such a powerful armament hockey. How did he do it? Robin once again felt the gap between him and Will. Will suddenly looked up in one direction at this time. A large ship slowly docked on the coast about a few kilometers away in that direction. At the same time, on the other side of the island, a tall and thin man riding a bicycle on the sea also successfully reached the shore. The man seemed to have sensed something, and looked around. Seeing this, Will quickly retracted his attention. At this time, the corners of his mouth slightly raised. And he muttered to himself, it really is all about smelling. Oh my God, 6 o'clock. Brothers, big brothers and big sisters, please give me good reviews. Chapter 78, Training Chopper. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Robin heard something vaguely, but didn't hear it clearly. She looked at Will in confusion, but Will didn't respond to her. His figure flashed and disappeared from the spot. Robin was startled. At this time, she could see several arcs flashing where Will disappeared. She even noticed which direction Will went. This speed. Robin was shocked by Will again. She turned her head and looked in the direction Will just looked at, but she found nothing. But she had a good feeling in her heart. She knew it was her illusion. She always felt that the weather was a little cooler than before. Old man. I saw the ship of the Straw Hat Pirates. They are on this island. Fuck. I finally caught up with them. Damn you, Pochi. On the huge sexy fox. The extremely ugly Foxy smiled brightly at Pochi beside her. They have been chasing the Straw Hat Pirates for a whole day. They finally caught up today. Foxy had long been eyeing the excellent crew members of the Straw Hat Pirates. He wanted to snatch all the people of the Straw Hat Pirates through the Davy Back fight competition. They are now still maintaining a terrifying record of winning more than 900 games in a row. Of course, this is also due to their perfect cheating methods. Now almost everyone on the ship has won. With our strength, if we can get that Straw Hat Luffy to agree to the game, we'll have won. The guy who looked like a gorilla on the side also spoke up at this time. Hey. You're talking about Hamburger. How can they imagine our strength? Foxy never thought that the enemy would not agree, or that he would lose. After all, they have won more than 900 games, they have never lost. Old man, can we get the deer first if we win the first game? That pet is so cute, I really want to catch it and train it. Pochi also asked at this time. Of course Foxy will refuse. In the end, everyone will be their members anyway, so the order doesn't matter at all. No problem. I'll bring it to you to play with. He 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 he. Thank you, old man. Let's go. Let's go. I can't wait to get those two beautiful crew members. He he he. Foxy waved his hand after saying that, and everyone followed. At this time, Will, who had changed his face, was standing on the deck and watching this scene quietly. These dogs are really good, they even want to train Chopper. What courage! I haven't trained him yet, cough cough, they dare to train my deer. These people are really bold. And that Foxy, he's so ugly. When we fight later, I have to disfigure his face first. It's really disgusting to do that. There's not a single person on the ship who is pleasing to the eye. TSK TSK TSK. Just when Will was about to take action to directly deal with this group of idiots, a familiar voice came. Hey! Have you seen Shirley? It's a horse. The voice was full of a strong smell of idiocy, and Will could smell it immediately. Damn it, why did this guy come here? Luffy! Why are you running around? What if you get lost? A voice came, and Will was completely speechless. Looking up, it was exactly as he expected. All together, all here. The one who just spoke was Zoro. Yes, that's right, it was him, and he said it very confidently. Okay, in that case, let Luffy try first to see if this guy is really fragile. He can start directly later. Anyway, just make Luffy agree to a game. If he dares to open his mouth, I will feed him a lightning strike. Forget it, I'll just give him a fist of sand. At this time, Foxy looked at the Straw Hat Pirates that suddenly gathered in front of him, and his face was also full of surprise. I haven't come to find you yet, but you came to your door. You are so sensible. As for Shirley, of course I saw it. And I caught it. This idiot is easy to fool. Just trick him into agreeing to the game. I saw it. And I caught it. It's my trophy now. Do you want to save it? Foxy said with a mean look. What? You caught it. Of course I want to save it. By the way, Uncle, your forked hair is too ugly. Luffy was angry at first, but when he saw Foxy's hairstyle, he couldn't help but tease. Foxy was happy to hear the first half of Luffy's sentence. Just when he was about to explain the rules of the game to him, he heard the second half of Luffy's sentence. This person instantly withered. He knelt on the ground with a plop. You, why are you so hurtful? Damn it. I must win everything from you. Want to save Shirley? Then accept the most noble game among pirates. Win the opponent's partner by winning or losing the game. How about it? You must save Shirley. Shirley is our partner now. Foxy spoke louder and louder, and by the end he was even roaring, but as soon as Nami and others heard the word winning a companion, they immediately realized that it was right. Chopper immediately said, Luffy, I have to promise him. But as soon as Chopper opened his mouth, Pochi on the opposite side was shocked. What a cute pet. I really want to get you soon. These words also made Chopper instantly furious. The meaning of those words is very dangerous. Chopper immediately responded, I belong to brother. Brother is and will let you succeed. Brother? Are you talking about that Will? Pochi asked rhetorically. That's right. As Chopper said this, his waist straightened up consciously. But not only was he not afraid of, but he also laughed together. Ha ha ha. Will. He still wants to stop us. Yeah. That loser who knows how to drive a tractor. You should be too funny. The Navy also knows what's going on. It's really hilarious to give him such a high reward. The group of people were laughing so hard that they fell on their backs. They were all saying things that made fun of Weir. Did you hear that? Lou. Your brother is a loser. The only way out is to follow us. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Foxy laughed while throwing a handful of bounty bills in this direction. See for yourselves. A tractor driver, really. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Chopper is really angry now. It can also be seen from its clenched deer hooves. Even the deer has pinched a blue wave pill in its hooves. Just when it was about to go up and kill these bad guys who dared to laugh at its brother, a burst of exclamation suddenly broke out from behind. Hey! It's Will! Will's reward order. Hearing this, Chopper also gave up the idea of overthrowing them for the time being and ran over quickly. He looked up at the reward notice in Luffy's hand. See the photo above of Weir driving a tractor in Alabasta. The shot was very clear, and in the photo, you can still see yourself lying on Weir's head. When Chopper saw himself appearing, he felt a little better. Frame with brother. Very nice. Only then did it look at the next bounty. 100 million. Several people were counting the numbers in agreement. Millions, tens of millions, billions. 100 million. 200 million. It's actually 200 million. Several people suddenly screamed. It's actually so high. A total of 200 million. This is the first time he has been offered a bounty. It's just 200 million, Zoro said in disbelief. I haven't even put a reward yet. This guy already has 200 million. How can this compare? Sanji also shouted with some collapse. Nami and Usopp also had similar expressions, both looking blank. It seemed like he was really shocked. Oh. Why is he so much taller than me? It's so sad, Luffy cried sadly. He originally offered a reward of 30 million, but now it has increased to 100 million, but seeing Weir's reward, he found it hard to accept it. Even Robin was shocked by the reward. He only had 80 million, he suddenly had 200 million. Chopper was the only one in the audience who was happy. Got it. The guy who drives the tractor is so handsome. Chapter 79 I can cure my bad mouth for free. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Foxy was a little at a loss when he saw the virtuous behavior of everyone on the other side. What's going on? Shouldn't you be sad? Also, how long has this bounty been out? Why do you feel like you are seeing it for the first time? From their perspective, Vale in the photo is obviously a tractor driver, and the most important thing is that the most outstanding thing about this guy is his speed. Speed and kicking skills, this is the reason why they look down on Will. Their captain is the most restrained one among these fast ones. As long as it is hit by the completely reflected light from the mirror surface with no blind spots in all directions. Then he is a useless person. So even though Weir's bounty was as high as 200 million, it didn't attract their attention. Just think of it as something that can be solved easily. They didn't look at Will at all. Hey! Do you want to accept the challenge? If not, we are going to bake Shirley and eat it. Foxy shouted angrily at this time. These guys across the street don't take his silver fox seriously. How dare you ignore him? Luffy, who was kneeling on the ground and crying bitterly, stood up instantly when he heard this. Shirley is obviously more important than the reward. This time Luffy and the others did not meet the old man. I just met Shirley Ma who was walking alone. What? Absolutely not. Shirley is our companion, Luffy shouted with a serious look on his face. Then do you want to agree to our competition? After Foxy finished speaking, Luffy was ready to agree without thinking. He didn't want Shirley to be roasted. Others noticed that this guy definitely wanted to agree. Don't promise him. Luffy. He must have lied to you. Don't just trust people. Idiot. Several people shouted as they rushed towards Luffy, preparing to hold him down first. Just press and hold. Rubber balloon. Luffy suddenly grew bigger and bounced everyone away. I answer. Just when Luffy was about to shout, a figure appeared in front of him, a fist zoomed in front of his eyes. Because Luffy's mouth was wide open at this moment, the fist entered his mouth in the blink of an eye. He even had a bulge on the back of his head. Oh you. After a strange sound, all the power of the fist was used on Luffy, his head flew straight back. Bang! There was a loud bang. Zoro covered his head and screamed in agony. Luffy, on the other hand, was lying on his side. Oh. This punch almost dried out his throat. If Luffy hadn't digested it quickly, he would have vomited out everything he had just eaten. They lied to you. Shirley is not here at all. Weir, who suddenly appeared, said expressionlessly. What a god! They actually lied to me. Evil. I believe them so much. They actually lied to me. Let me go. I will beat them away. Luffy still doesn't believe what others say, he is a bit resigned to death, but if it's Weir, then it'll be fine, everything he said is right. Everyone in the Silver Fox Pirates here turned green with anger when they saw this scene. It looks like it's already going to be successful. Damn that stinky tractor driver. Bad old man, good thing. No. I have to try it again to see if it can be remedied. Maybe we can even convince the guy in the straw hat. Thinking of this, Foxy said to Weir, who was at the front of the station, get out of here. You bitch. Don't disturb the conversation between the captains. Foxy didn't take Will seriously at all, speak naturally and without any scruples, his speed of solving problems is as good as 80, facts have proved that those guys have no resistance in front of him, and this gave Foxy the courage to mock Weir, who had a bounty of 200 million. Yes. You stinky tractor driver. Get out of here. A good dog stays out of the way. Get out of the way. You are a piece of trash in front of our captain. Get out of here. Others agreed one after another. Straw Hat. If you don't agree again. We are really going to leave. We will take Shirley away together. Do you want to believe what this weakling says? Foxy kept urging Luffy towards the back, let's talk about it. He also had to belittle Weir, as if he wanted to make Luffy angry in this way. This increases your chances of success. Now everyone's eyes were turned towards Luffy, but at this time, Luffy, no, everyone in the Straw Hats had a strange expression on their faces, them. What are you doing? Crazy, right? Several people looked at each other, the expressions on their faces were a little unbelievable. Are they, scolding Will? Luffy asked a little uncertainly. If there is nothing wrong with our ears, then it should be. Zoro, whose head was buzzing, temporarily forgot about the pain. Have these people always been so brave? Sanji lighted a cigarette silently and said, the scene when Weir was angry last time is still vivid in my mind. At that time, Crocodile's waist was so kicked that it exploded, and according to Robin, Will later found Crocodile who was seriously injured and treated him. The thing that Will feared the most was that he would not just beat you up or kill you. The biggest difference between him and others was that he could make you live a life worse than death. In short, Crocodile was miserable, and these people, they were already going to die. At this time, Will looked at Foxy, who was arrogant in front of him, and roughly understood their thoughts, want to use the deceleration beam to deal with himself. Relying on the extremely slow beam. It was outrageous enough for that thing to hit people, and they actually wanted to deal with themselves. Good, just based on this point, they were so arrogant, which was really annoying. Do you think you can beat me? Will looked at Foxy expressionlessly and said, when the people behind saw Will like this, they knew that these people were finished. Will seemed angry. When Foxy and the others heard this, they were stunned for a moment, and then burst into laughter. Ha ha ha. This idiot. Still thinking about winning against the boss. Yes. If he dares to get close, he will be decelerated. He still thinks he is a master. Foxy laughed so hard that he couldn't straighten his waist. After a long pause, he looked at the expressionless Will in front of him and said with ease. Don't say I don't give you a chance. Come. Come and kill me if you dare. Hey. As soon as he finished speaking, Will had disappeared. Foxy was shocked when he saw this. This speed. It's a bit fast. Where is the person? I didn't see it clearly. But it's okay. As long as he dares to show up. As long as he is hit by his deceleration beam. No matter who it is, he will have to kneel. At this time, a figure appeared in front of him like a ghost. In his hand, he held a lightning sword. Foxy was startled. He raised his hand and prepared to send out a deceleration beam. The moment he was about to raise his hand. Swish. A sword light flashed across. Snap. 2 palms fell in response. The field instantly fell into silence. Everyone stared with wide eyes. At this time, the thunder sword in Will's hand slowly dissipated. He looked at Foxy, whose hands were broken, and a happy smile appeared on his face. "Now, do you think you can still beat me?" After Will finished speaking, whether it was Foxy or the people of the Silver Fox Pirates, they were all stunned in place. Foxy even forgot the pain in his hand temporarily. They only knew that his hand was broken, the beam couldn't be released. Doesn't that mean, at this moment, Will's 200 million worth reappeared in their minds? But the psychological fluctuations it brought to them were completely different. 200 million, they are no match at all. What speed was that just now? How could it be so fast? There was no chance to react. His hand was cut off in an instant. It seems that this guy's speed will not be restrained by deceleration at all. Because you can't hit him. But it's too late to wake up now. Will has already taken out the pliers and the fire stick. He smiled at the ugly Foxy in front of him and said, "I'll cure my foul mouth for free, today's 1,000 words. I've been reviewed again. I'm speechless, ring in equal to underscore ring in equal to, please wait and come back. I've already modified it. This paragraph contains my tragic experience, window, underscore tabula equals window, underscore tabula dot push, mode, thumbs, feed, 01, container, tabula, below, article, thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target underscore type, mix. Chapter 80 Brush your mouth. Wash your stomach. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What's going on? What's going on? What speed is this? I just saw something flashing. Then there was no more. Even the boss's light didn't have time to take action. His hand fell off. They were really scared. If that person's goal is them, wouldn't they go to heaven in an instant? Bad, something seems to have happened now. We seem to have hit a steel plate. Luffy and the others were also a little surprised when they saw this scene, where seems to be stronger. That speed just now. Even they couldn't see it clearly. Only a faint flash of lightning was seen. Return the Thunder Sword, is this the new of Vil? Simply incredible. This kind of speed is already among the best in the world. Foxy, whose hands were cut off, finally showed a look of fear on his face. He looked at Weir, who was very close and smiling brightly, and knelt down with a plop. Brother, don't kill me. You were just joking. I deserve to die. I deserve to die. Let's get out of here right now. Please show your respect. At this moment, Foxy completely gave up the idea of robbing the Straw Hat members. He just wants to leave quickly. But when he heard this, Weir was not moved at all. If you can apologize, why do you need medical treatment? I don't care whether you are joking or not, but you don't think I am joking with you, right? As soon as Weir said this, Foxy's face changed instantly. Since I can't leave. That's it. Of course, brothers. Young ones. Since you can't leave. Then come all to me. Kill this guy, Foxy yelled. Hamburg next to him immediately rushed over without saying a word. The place instantly became chaotic. The group of people split into 2 waves in the blink of an eye. After a stupid wave, a group of people ran away fiercely. Luffy and the others saw this and wanted to come up to help, but Robin stopped them. I'll probably only get accidentally injured if I go up there. He can't solve it if he doesn't. After Robin finished speaking, they were really surprised when they thought about it. Weir's strength is simply beyond the imagination of these minions. They just watch the show and forget it. Let Weir relieve himself. At this time, thunder and lightning surged in Weir's hand. With a casual wave of his hand, large thunder and lightning instantly filled the entire area. Everyone in the Silver Fox Pirates is enveloped. The sizzling sound of electricity kept ringing. The whole group was immediately frozen in place. Every one of them was shaken into a sieve. The ones who clamored the loudest just now are now the loudest, and the one smoking the loudest. Pochi doesn't want Chopper anymore. She can be the focus of Will's attention. I'm almost electrocuted now." Soon there was a splashing sound in the whole place, one after another. Figures began to fall to the ground. In just a few seconds, Foxy was the only one left standing in the audience. He was standing in the middle of a crowd of people. The terrifying current just now did not lock onto him, but there were figures all around him that were roaring with electricity. Does he dare to move? Foxy is really scared now. What the hell is this thing? If you are so fierce, you should have told me earlier. Did you say earlier that I would come to die? Also those Navy. If you don't know how to do bounties, don't do it. Who are you trying to confuse by taking a photo of driving a tractor? Foxy can be said to be completely stunned at this time. Weir's performance completely exceeded his expectations. He has completely regretted it now. If he had known this, he would never come here to kill someone. Kevil doesn't care about that. He looked at Foxy, who looked collapsed, without any mercy on his face, holding the fire stick in his hand. He thought about it but didn't make a move. This thing is completely a physical attack. The effect can be said to be the lowest. Do you want to change the way? Foxy saw that Will suddenly stopped at this time, and he thought things had turned around again, but suddenly, Weir, standing in front of him, took out a brush from his medical kit, and it's not an ordinary brush. As for how Foxy knew, the stench almost made him faint. This is just a toilet brush. What does this guy want to do? Foxy was really panicking. But there's no point in panicking. Weir had already stepped on his chest. He pressed him firmly to the ground. Do you have a bad mouth? I'll make you stink even more. Fight fire with fire. When Foxy saw this, his mouth was clamped tighter than his buttocks. If you dare to open your mouth now, what will happen to the toilet brush full of? Is it even necessary to think about it? If you are really treated like this, that would be even worse than killing him. Don't open your mouth. Is it difficult to defeat Will? An electric current passed by. Foxy was so shocked that his mouth opened wide. And Foxy, who opened his mouth, also collapsed smoothly. This guy Weir is merciless. Hey. Do you think I want to brush my mouth with a brush? No. In fact, I want to perform gastric lavage on this old boy. Bite. Congratulations to the host for getting 300 negative points. Bite. Congratulations to the host for getting 100 negative points. Will, who was washing, looked at Foxy, who was crying and moaning, and cast a contemptuous look at him. It was really rubbish. This was too much. If Foxy knew what Will was thinking at this moment, he would definitely spit a mouthful of phlegm to death. Do you know how much pain I am suffering now? How dare you say such a thing? That's right, Foxy is really about to be killed by the toilet brush now. His stomach is really uncomfortable. It can be seen how big Will's little hand is. At first, he vomited some food residues. Now he is vomiting blood violently. The old blood is really spurting out mouthfuls of blood. At this time, Foxy just wanted to shout to Will, "Dad, stop it. I was wrong." But he couldn't do it. He had no other choice but to endure it silently and with all his strength. Seeing this, Will also felt that the foreplay was almost over. It was time to start the main course. Thinking of this, he also pulled out the toilet brush. Foxy also spit out a mouthful of blood again. He gasped, greedily inhaled the fresh air without odor. Just when he thought everything was over, Will also let him know that this was just the beginning. Will put away the brush in his hand and took out his anesthetic brick. He slapped Foxy, who was confused. You said he didn't resist yet. The anesthetic brick is not effective. It's okay. Just slap until he faints. And make up for it by the way. Thinking of this, Will's brick in his hand has been blown evenly on Foxy's ugly face, one shot after another. Everyone at the back couldn't help but frown again. They also secretly swore in their hearts that they would never provoke Will in the future, otherwise, the consequences would be really serious. Even Robin began to feel scared for his previous boldness. It would be better for him to be more restrained in the future. Warm reminder: if you find that clicking the next page will force you to jump to other websites, please use the chapter error or contact us at the bottom to inform us. We will deal with it as soon as possible. Thank you for your understanding.